To share with you through a presentation a trend-setting concept in safety and security solutions industry. We will demonstrate through a presentation and a case study the successful implementation of a seamless integration of safety and security systems on one platform. We will have an introductory note from Vilas Subramanian, CEO of Caudan Security Services. We shall then have the presentation by Carlo Klopper from FireSpec South Africa, who will be assisted by Pedro Isaacs. We shall also have the opportunity to hear Rhino van der Weiver, the Regional Director of Avigilon Africa, who will be assisted by Jamie Peterson, Regional Sales Manager, who will address us on the CCTV feature of integrated security and safety solutions. We will end the presentation with an open session to answer all your queries and concerns, after which you are all invited for a cocktail at the reception area. I just wish to draw your attention that bathroom facilities are on the third floor, right? So one floor just behind. So I now leave the floor to Mr. Vilas Subramanian, CEO of Caudan.
It was the beginning of Caudan Security as a department, part of the Caudan waterfront, with 34 men for the security of the premises of the waterfront. In 1997, the company was incorporated as Caudan Security Services, owned as a 100% subsidiary by Caudan Development Limited. In 2000, we set up a central monitoring station to monitor alarms and have four teams of active response in the island. 2002, we started with the training courses for security guards. 2003, we started with GE and alarm installations, wired and wireless equipment. 2005 was a major landmark because it signaled the outsourcing of, not outsourcing, but rather giving the services of guarding outside the Caudan waterfront with the taking over of Grey Security. And it started with 12 ideal sites, and it has grown ever since to, I think, today, 140 sites. In 2007, we launched the cash and transit services with semi-armored vehicles. And again, we've been working closely with experts in the fields to develop this activity. And today, it's a team which counts around 26 members. In 2008, we launched the executive protection, which unfortunately hasn't been very successful in terms of market, because the demand coincided with a drop in demand for such services from VIPs and hotels. And it is a service which still exists in our portfolio, but we don't have much demand for this. 2010, we moved to Saint-Pierre in brand new headquarters at the time, built for purpose. All facilities were then transferred from Caudan waterfront to Saint-Pierre. And it's really nice setup. We've got plenty of space for future development. We've got a proper central monitoring station. got all our facilities for CIT, and afterwards we developed a related service to the CIT, which is the ATM for banks, replenishment and taking over of first-line maintenance for ATM for banks. We started the service in 2014, January, and we're now servicing around 28 ATMs for one bank. And this year, 2015, we are glad to announce a joint venture with Biometric of South Africa, where we'll be offering what we call integrated security solutions, which you will have the opportunity to have first-hand glimpse of what it involves, what are the advantages of getting into this type of installation. And it's worldwide recognized today that the future of electronic security will involve heavily integrated solutions for ease of use and also seamless security audit trail. I think on that I'll thank you, and which you will have.
Welcome. It's a great privilege to be here today. I'm Caudan. I'm the Managing Director of a company called Biometric Systems. It is a great privilege for us to launch and announce our joint venture with Caudan Security on the island. As Biometric, we saw Mauritius as a key base to expand our offering into the Indian Ocean and also East African market. We saw Mauritius as an investment-friendly location. We saw some key verticals in hospitality, financial services, and I think more multinationals basing their offices in Mauritius. And we saw safety and security as a growing need in this market. As Biometric, our values are integrity, customer focus, and innovation. And it was great to find a partner in Caudan Security that embodied the same values that we have. So, on Biometric. So what does Biometric Systems do? We are a company, as Vidas alluded to, that has turnkey project execution for integrated security systems. So we go from a design phase of understanding the needs of a client, then implementing systems around video surveillance, fire detection, access control, building management systems, video voice systems, video surveillance, and environmental monitoring, energy sensors, etc. We could proceed through whole commissioning and system handover. We pride ourselves in after-sales service and support. And this is the type of skills and experience we're bringing towards the joint venture. So just on Biometric, hopefully this picture is not what Vidas will look like at the end of our joint venture. So we've been around for more than 40 years, established in 1971. We've done projects throughout Sub-Saharan Africa and Latin America. We pride ourselves on our engineering capabilities, so our staff complement includes qualified engineers as well as MEC engineers, very IT focused, so a lot of focus in our business goes on skills and project management. We pride ourselves in being a leader in maintenance and service, really running it on job cards type of systems, follow-up reporting to our client base to know precisely what's happening. And we've got all the compliance and industry accreditation needed. In South Africa being a highly regulated security market, we've got all the necessary accreditation that's needed. So, a business like ourselves, one of the most important aspects and part of the skills that we bring is what projects can we deliver and can we deliver successfully. So just a quick overview of some of the projects we've been involved in the last few years. One is the University of Cape Town, that is a prime university in South Africa. The campus comprises of 190 buildings, where we do integrated fire and security, HVAC, alarm monitoring for all 190 buildings. We've been involved with that site for 17 years. The Ocean Sun Casino in Panama is a premier casino that opened in 2014, probably the highest end casino that's opened in Latin America. Our team was involved in delivering more than 500 HDIP surveillance cameras in the Trump Tower in Panama. We've been involved in Cape Town International Airport, one of the biggest gold mines in Africa, Newmont Mining Group. We've been involved in one of their sites in Ghana where we delivered a IP surveillance, fire detection, voice evacuation system. We're involved with First Quantum Minerals, the biggest copper producer in Africa, where we've done extensive HD video surveillance systems utilizing the visual product set. We've done a system there where we get 12,000 people through biometric turnstiles per day. And where the system integration comes in with elements such as we also integrate to canteen management, the HR payroll system, time and attendance. A good example where in Unlocked Business Value on the first day of opening the mine with the new system, they found more than 700 employees were more than an hour later. So you can see what that would translate to over long term. We'll always be losing out on hours. On voice, we do voice systems, public address system for big conference facilities. One we recently did with Bose, sound system in Cape Town, Caudan Centre, and a big financial services company in South Africa that we've also been involved in doing a full integrated system. And the list continues beyond power, telecom. So in all these industries we have been involved in. And one of the things we're proud of is base a business on is supplier relationships, partnering with the best products that is available on the market. And we're bringing those supplier relationships to our joint venture with Caudan Security. As part of our commitment to the joint venture, we will also be relocating one of our project engineering resources to the island, and it is therefore also an honor to introduce you to Mr. Pedro Isaacs, that is our senior project engineer and project manager, that's recently flown in actually from Ghana, where he's just handed over an enterprise-wide integrated security system solution for Vodafone Ghana. I'm going to hand it over to Pedro to just run you through the technology and solutions. Thank you very much.
Move to Mauritius, I have to say, are we talking about the island, the tropical island, or somewhere in Alaska? So, I'd like to actually introduce you to one of our amazing products that we have. It's the Gallagher Access Control System. We like to refer to it as an integrated platform, and I'll be going through that with you. So, without further ado. So if we're looking at an integrated platform, what an integrated platform really means is it's a combination of different types of access, safety, fire systems, building management systems, all amalgamated into one centralized system. And the whole idea behind that is that it allows you to give centralized control, centralized monitoring, and it improves your responses to alarms and events, and at the same time, it improves your safety and your security. So, we were approached by Vodafone last year in about July, and they had quite a few problems, and they asked us to come up with a solution to address these major problems that they were having. One of the first things that they had was a major hardware failure. Their system actually went down for over a month. As a subsequence, they were actually fined over $1 million by the Ghana Broadcasting Authority. When they actually suspected sabotage, they came in to actually do an audit, and they found that they had no reporting structures for their actual buildings. They also found that they had very poor access control, and people were able to get into extremely critical and very, very sensitive areas. Some of the buildings house equipment, maybe like $500 million, and so on. So the critical assets were also not monitored at the same time. And the downtime, of course, increased the costs on maintenance, and of course, they got the fine as well. And then, of course, we also have fire risk, the fire detection and suppression systems that they have in place there were also not being monitored. So we were asked and tasked to come up with a solution to fix these problems that Vodafone in Ghana was experiencing. So we came up with 5. The first thing they wanted was a wide area network capability. They basically wanted to link multiple buildings across Ghana. We started off in Accra, which is the capital, and gradually we started spreading out to the other outlying areas and actual cities in Ghana. So, at the moment, there are 22 buildings that are actually all linked together. Cantonments is the central control building, and all the other outlying buildings come together and transmit to cantonments. Inside cantonments, we have a control room, and that is the central monitoring area for the entire system. So, The next thing what we looked at was to increase the security in the sensitive areas. And one of the ways we actually decided, and the best ways to actually do it, was to actually install biometric readers. And the biometric readers are quite good because they give you a unique fingerprint ID. Nobody else can actually get into that building or that area unless their fingerprint is on the system, and it's very difficult to actually fake a fingerprint. That greatly improved the site security, and then on top of that, you get a very detailed electronic log of who actually gets into the building, and you can actually then follow that up on an audit trail. And that's extremely important for these types of systems. Management wants to know who's going into these buildings, what are they doing in these buildings, especially if you've got like hundreds of millions of dollars worth of equipment in there. So again, very detailed event and alarm reporting. They really wanted a proper audit trail, and that was extremely important. Vodacom from the UK actually came down to do an audit, and when they found they couldn't do an audit, that was one of the main things that they actually insisted on. So we came up with the Gallagher Access Control System as our integrated platform, and what I'd like to do is just go through the Gallagher Premier software, which is basically the interface to the Gallagher system. This is what your control room staff would basically be looking at in the center.
Like Vilas indicated, my name is Reino. I am from a company called the Vigilon. It's a Vancouver-based manufacturer of high-definition video surveillance equipment. With my colleague Jamie Peterson, it's going to be our pleasure to take you through the journey of video surveillance linked to the project that Carlo and Pedro has just demonstrated to us. And I'm going to start with a little introduction regarding analytics, and I wonder if anybody feels that we're pushing the statement that's on the screen so far. Did I hear a yes? Did somebody say yes? Okay. The human attention span is about 20 minutes for repetitive tasks. This has been established by organizations like Sandia Labs, NASA, everybody that deals with people that need to observe critical infrastructure, monitoring devices. Which means we have to ask the question, why can we watch a 2-hour movie? Why is it possible for us to sit glued to the television screen and watch soap operas or Bollywood films and not get bored within 20 minutes? Okay. The reason for that is that the human mind has evolved. What it does is it ignores repetitive tasks. Very quickly after 20 minutes, it actually just shuts down and it goes into a sort of a hibernation mode. But when you watch a movie, it's possible for you to watch 2 hours of a very good movie. Well, what does this mean to the security operator that we leave in a control room, expect him for 12-hour shifts to monitor cameras, monitor surveillance, and use that to protect our assets and our lives and our property? How does that impact on a security operator? 20-minute attention span, 12-hour shifts in a control room, 8-hour shift in a control room. Well, I have good news. And the good news is in analytics. So, analytics is supposed to give the operators the capability to identify and react to incidents before an undesirable outcome occurs. And now, I'm going to show you how we do that. Does anybody recognize the scene that we've got on the screen right now? Food court? Correct. Caudan food court, the new food court. So what we've got here is the software. This is an actual export from one of the cameras in the food court at the Caudan waterfront. This is an export that we did this morning. Sorry, no, I'm going to show you an export just now. You'll see an interesting date here. 31st of December. So what I've done is I've exported the recording for the 31st of December going into the new year. I'm going to click play. And I want you to imagine being an operator or a CCTV controller sitting in the 5th floor of the Caudan waterfront in the control room having to look at this scene. Now you can see it's very quiet. I think I saw an object moving in the back. You see a red bounding block around the object. That is our analytics now telling the operator, wake up, there's somebody in the food court. But it's still very quiet and he's realized that there's somebody. Now I'm going to give you a snapshot of what the entire day would look like. You can see the security guard patrolling. You want to know what the whole day looks like? You want to see a day in the life of a food court? Here we go. Ready? And guess what? We're back to quietness again. You've just seen billions and billions of pixels, video pixels, containing thousands of people eating millions and millions of rupees of food. Okay, what can we do with this video that we've recorded? So we can rewind it. But how do we expect an operator to actually identify incidents, identify trends, see people doing something wrong, realize if there's a problem? It's impossible. Let's be honest, it's completely impossible until somebody reports it. But can analytics help him? Most definitely. Would it be possible for us in the future to use video like this to analyze the retail space to an extent that we can tell you how many people visited the food court, how long were the queues, for how long were the queues, how many people ate what kind of meals, what's the gender, how many females, how many kids, how many males? All these kind of things can now be deducted from analytics, or deduced from analytics using metadata from the video. Anybody see themselves in the food court? Right, so let me give you a demonstration of how the analytics helps us and helps the operator. Once again, you'll recognize the scene. What we have is a typical Friday afternoon, Friday the 13th, at the Caudan waterfront. It's possible for me to zoom into different areas, see what people are doing. Obviously, the operator of the system has a job description that entails doing monitoring like this, manual monitoring as well, but like I said, it's impossible to really detect events. And today an event occurred. This gentleman sitting down here, over there, was waiting for his food, and while his food was being prepared, he put his bag on the side of the table there. At a point in time, he realized that his bag had disappeared. Somebody had taken his bag. He quickly rushed over and spoke to the security, notified them about the incident. Security called the control room. The control room was instructed to find the incident. I'm going to show you how we use analytics to find incidents very quickly that happened hours and hours ago. What the operator does is he clicks on that tab, he goes to something that's called a thumbnail analytics search. He takes the thumbnail, drags it across the scene where the object disappeared from, selects a timeline within which it could have happened, so if it's an hour or a day or a week, and he clicks search. The analytics then gives a thumbnail representation to indicate that the bag is in that view, it's in that view, it's in that view, and in that view it's missing. So very quickly I can just double click on this one, and you follow the same process until you get to a point where the bag is disappearing. And we've got him. Okay, so searching through millions and millions of pixels in a quick matter of seconds is really made easy with an Avigilon system with a high-end analytics and a high-end VMS system. So, don't worry, it all ended well. Not to worry, the suspect was apprehended. Okay, and if I now wanted to circulate that image of the suspect, it would be as easy as right-clicking over there, say save snapshot, save it as a PDF document, and I can export it immediately. And sometimes, this is quite an interesting aspect, sometimes we wouldn't want to circulate this picture because these are just innocent members of the public, so you don't necessarily want them in it. You can just click on change image region. I can actually make sure that you only get the suspect in the picture, take the rest out. And I can export it to my desktop and immediately email it to the local newspapers. Sandy, you okay?
Someone actually getting in and out there. So at a very fast glimpse, you can see there's a lot you can do with one single camera. It's one single camera, one installation point, one service point. But you're covering a very wide area, lots of detail, and still covering the full scene had something happen in certain areas. So if I play this scene just to give you guys an idea. So you can track, you'll see every so often the vehicle get out of focus, in focus. Basically, it's going through different streams. And the key to H4 and the way the Vigilon manages high detail is it always minimizes its highest detail, always making sure they produce the minimum amount of bandwidth on the network. So, another nice thing, as Rana showed you with that thumbnail search, had someone parked a car down here and an incident occurred, they could say, when did a vehicle arrive at the scene? We can take our block and decide, I'd like to see when this BMW X5 arrived. So, one thing I'll highlight now, if this BMW didn't leave or enter the scene in the time of my recording, obviously you will not pick up the difference. But we can quickly look at it. So maybe possibly the ID. Let's look at the ID. No? Well, let's look at that green car that I saw earlier. Give me a second there, sorry. Let's use a human. So had you opened your scene, you look at this area, and you do a search of the area that I've highlighted. You can then look and see on each thumbnail when that person enters the scene, and there he comes walking there. Click in there, you open in view, and very quickly you can basically find your object or your person. So with that block thumbnail search, it can be pretty much anything. A person can say to you, somebody's come past you and stolen my badge or my car. You can highlight that car, and through a given time, search very quickly a person entering that scene or that interest. Alright.